What's going on, boxing fans? It's your boy Ash on the road. Just left the Prince Gym where I was talking to Marcus Too Much Johnson. He got a fight coming up, but I want to talk about that Zab Judah Mbuza aftermath. First of all, I'm recording while driving. Kids, don't try this at home. It's straight dangerous. I probably shouldn't be doing it, but oh well. Anyway, that was a very good fight for Zab. And a lot of people didn't think that Zab could muster up the professionalism, the ring intelligence, and put it all together along with a solid training camp and conditioning to make it count on this last time for a title shot. Because this could have been a career-ending loss for Zab, because you're not going to get opportunities over and over and over and over in your career. And this was a very big fight for him. He took advantage of the opportunity to fight for the title in the IBF, and he won. Now, a lot of people are already taking credit away from Zab, talking about the guy he was in the ring with was a nobody. I beg to differ. Records are what they are. You know what I'm saying? They're what they are. You win and you lose. But when you win, you got to give guys the credit when you knock off somebody who you weren't supposed to. There's a lot of unknown names out there, a lot of unknown fighters out there, and the boxing world would never know who they are unless they are given an opportunity to show what they can do. He got an opportunity to fight Kendall Holt, Mbuza I'm talking about, and he knocked Kendall Holt out. That's how he got his #1 spot. And Zab has been on a win streak, and he got his #2 spot, where eventually, you know, they had to face each other to see who was going to represent that organization as champion. And once again, Zab emerged victorious. But talking about the fight itself, very good fight for Zab. That fight showed that he was in good shape, because if he wasn't, it would have been him sleeping underneath those lights on fight night. Because Mbuza came to fight, he threw a lot of punches. He was trying to knock Zab's ass out. I mean, he was throwing lots of punches at Zab. He was closing the distance on him all night. He was steadily trying to cut off the ring. And you can tell the game plan for Zab was to box and move, you know, put punches together, give him a bunch of different looks. And if a big punch comes around where you can set him up for a big shot, you take it. Well, being the fact that Mbuza came to fight and came to put pressure on Zab, actually Zab had to move and box instead of the other way around. So what you saw on fight night, you saw Zab mimicking a lot of the movements that we saw from Sweet Pea in his prime, because Zab had to avoid and duck shots all fight long, because Mbuza wasn't giving Zab the opportunities to land a big punch, whereas fighters in the past have given Zab that opportunity to land a big left hand. Mbuza had his hands up, and he was protecting himself very well. He wasn't presenting those opportunities for him. In fact, the only opportunities that were presented for Zab were in the body, and Zab did take full advantage of that. So basically, what you saw from round 1 to round 7, it was Zab trying to escape, you know, those big punches. You know, Zab had to move and box. You know what I'm saying? He had to duck and avoid those big shots the whole time. And it actually took him to the 7th round to find that opening where he can land that big left hand. And one thing we already know about Zab, the positives about Zab, is the fact that he has game-changing power. He can change a fight at the drop of a hat in any round from 1 to 12. And a lot of guys aren't blessed with that ability to just to knock guys out with one punch. He can do that. And he set him up beautifully for a big left hand, had the guy wobbling, going through the ropes on unsteady legs. And, you know, one thing we've learned about Zab Judah is that if he got you hurt, it's a very good chance you're not going to finish the fight on your feet. Even when he fought Miguel Cotto, when he had Cotto hurt, Cotto went to the nuts. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he purposely did it or he's a dirty fighter. That's the last thing I'm saying. But what I am saying is, what happens if Cotto doesn't go low? You know, there's a good chance that the outcome of that fight would have been entirely different. But being the fact that Miguel Cotto won that fight in flying colors, you definitely can't take anything away from either guy, because both guys came to fight in that fight. And when you have two great fighters in the ring fighting, somebody's got to take the L. And on that night, Zab Judah took that L. But on the fight on the fight night with Mbuza, Zab took that W, and it was a very big win for him. It threw his name back out there in the mix. He's one of the titleists at that weight, and it brings potentially large fights his way in the future. Now, if you guys are on Twitter at all, you know Zab has been voicing his desire to mix it up with one of the best fighters in the world, and Juan Manuel Marquez. And I'm saying, why not? Let's have that fight. There's two names that we know, two guys that have already done a lot in the sport of boxing as far as becoming world champions several times over. They both have names. They both have been on pay-per-views. They just haven't been the marquee name on pay-per-views, but they're still name you knows. And what makes it such a good fight and pay-per-view worthy is that both guys have been on the pay-per-view cards that were very successful. So it's a good chance you can squeeze out 300,000 buys at the very least for a potential Zab Judah Marquez fight. And a lot of people don't think this is a good fight for Marquez. Hell, it's a possibility it's not a good fight for Zab either, because both guys could win, both guys could lose, both guys have tremendous ability, and both guys can easily win this fight, and it does wonders for both guys' career. It will add another notch to both guys' legacy, so to speak. And I think it's a fight that the fans will get behind, you know? So why not? You know, it's a lot of good fights out there for Marquez. I'm sure Marquez don't want to fight just some Joe Blow at this stage of his career. All fights should be meaningful and should be lucrative. And, you know, fighting another name fighter like Zab Judah will present bigger purse options than to get in the ring with somebody who really doesn't have a name and, you know, presents a very risky fight for Marquez. So a Zab Judah fight, I think, is ideal financially and legacy-wise. And I think it's just the type of fight that Marquez will want, because I think Marquez only wants fights that are tough, you know, against guys that, you know, have a name, guys that have good resumes and so forth. So if they can make that fight, I say let's have it. I think the fans will want to see it. And I look forward to seeing that. At 140 pounds, there really isn't a bigger name besides Amir Khan. And that's only because of the type of dollars that he brings if the fight takes place in the UK. So if Marquez fights Amir Khan, that would be good for him. Stylistically, that's a nightmare for him, but it's still a winnable fight because Amir Khan can't take it to the beard. But, you know, some people say Zab can't take it to the beard. But one thing Zab can do is bring it to the beard. So it all depends on who connects first. That's what makes it such an interesting fight. One that I would love to see. And actually can't wait to see. Let's have it. His contract with Golden Boy is about to end soon. Zab is his own promotional CEO as well as Marquez, of Marquez Promotions. They really don't need too many people to help co-promote. All they need is like one other mega promoter out there to promote the fight while those guys, you know, can attend their training camps respectively and prepare solidly for each other instead of doing all those doggone interviews and media obligations that you would have to do as a promoter. Kind of makes it hard to be a fighter if you're promoting your own fights. But that's all I wanted to say about that fight with Zab. I thought that was a very good outing for him. Don't know if that was a successful pay-per-view, but, you know, whatever. You have a name, and I think it's a good idea when fighters try to cash in on their own celebrity. And, you know, he's known, so why not? But I look forward to see him in a big fight soon this year, possibly with one of the other names at 40, or possibly with Juan Manuel Marquez. Zab just weighed in at 138 pounds for his last fight, so you can't say he's just so much bigger. You know what I'm saying? Well, I guess you can say it because Zab was the undisputed welterweight champion, but in his last fight he was 138 pounds, so I think that's reasonable if they meet at a catch weight, or if Marquez just comes up 5 pounds and meets Zab at 140 pounds and fight for the IBF belt. And that would be ideal for Marquez because this would be his 4th division winning the world title if he's victorious. So if you're a fan and you're behind this fight, get behind it, go on Twitter, tell the powers that be, let's make this fight happen, and we could be watching this fight in the summer. Until then, This your boy Ash. You gonna see me in the gyms doing my thing. It's probably the last time I'll do a video while driving. This shit is dangerous. And I'll get up with you. Y'all be easy, man. Peace.